PSA, widely considered to be the king of card grading, the best of the best, the gold standard, the greatest of all time, which is why I recently submitted cards to them for grading, which I'll reveal later in this video. But is the crown beginning to slip? Over the last few months, there has been feedback of much harsher grading standards, cards that maybe would have been considered 10s getting lower grades. More recently, videos are popping up with examples of the new slab design being easier to break open, which if true, would be a significant issue that needs fixing ASAP. Now, when I see videos like this, I really don't know what to think, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. However, in spite of this, when it comes to resale value, it is hard to deny the power PSA has. Looking at some of the top hits from destined rivals, let's compare some recent sold prices of PSA compared to ACE. But first, a disclaimer. I've taken prices you will see here from recent solds on eBay at the time of making this video. This doesn't mean the prices will always be like this or always have a difference like this. I'm also only using an average of 3 recent sales, so there may be sales with different prices than what you see here. I know people feel passionately about the companies they grade with, and that's great. So all this is my own findings from a small sample size. So with that out of the way, let's start with Ethan's Ho-Oh. Looking at recent sales from eBay and an ACE 10, we get an average value of around £257. Looking at recent sales from PSA 10 in the same card, we get an average value of around £394. That means PSA 10s are selling for around 54% more when compared to ACE. For the Team Rockets Moltres, it's a similar story. The average value of recent sales in ACE 10 is around £231, compared to PSA 10s in a recent sales, which give an average of around £403. That's a difference of 74%. Moving on to Cynthia's Garchomp. In an ACE 10, we see the average value recent sales is around £312, whereas in a PSA 10, the average value of recent sales is around £479. That's a difference of 54%. Finally, the big one, Team Rockets Mewtwo. In an ACE 10, the average of recent sales is around £754, whereas in a PSA 10, the average is a huge £1,354. This is a difference of 80%. While it is important to note that a lot of people don't grade cards purely for the resale value, these are quite significant differences. Could these differences change in the future? Maybe, but right now PSA seems to remain king on resale value. So, with this all in mind, let's see how my grading return went. So here's the slabs from my most recent PSA return for us to run through. Some of the cards to look out for in here are the Raichu illustration rare from Paldea Revolved, a fantastic card. Some special illustration rares like Iono's Belly Bolt and Morty's Conviction, and I also have a Mega Rayquaza from Celebrations, which has been hugely on the rise recently. So let's get started with the first card. I'll try and cover up the grade to reveal it on camera. So first of all, we've got a lot of Journey Together in here. I sent off this return just after Journey Together came out, and I've actually been collecting Journey Together and sent a lot of illustration rares and special illustration rares off from that set. So expect to see a few of those in here. So we've got Iono's Belly Bolt, which is the promo that comes from the collection box, I believe. So first out the box, we've got a PSA 10, brilliant start, happy with that one. Hopefully that is a sign of things to come, but we shall see. Next one, we're straight into a big card here. So we've got the special illustration rare Iono's Belly Bolt EX. I think this was in pretty good condition. Looking at the corners, maybe there's a little bit of whitening at the top there, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. So this has got a PSA 9, okay, so not the 10 that we were looking for, but nice looking at those two cards together there. But yeah, no 10 for the special illustration rare. Next, we've got the Iono's Kilowattrel. Again, another illustration rare from Journey Together. This one has got another PSA 9. Okay, hopefully that's not a sign of things to come, but I have been hearing that obviously PSA are getting a little bit stricter with some of their grading standards, so hopefully we don't see too much of that. Next one we've got is the Lily's Rabombi. So Lily's Rabombi has got a Another PSA 9. Okay. See, I look at these corners and I can't see anything on there. Maybe centering, slightly top heavy. This is the thing with PSA, as you say, the centering standards I think have got a lot stricter. So I wonder if it's that, but obviously we don't really know PSA because you don't get any kind of subgrades. Right, next one from the Journey Together ETB, we've got Ens Zorua. Again, corners looking pretty minty on this one. Centering not looking too bad on the back. And we've got a 9. Okay. Right, so we've got 110 so far, 4 9s. Okay. Not gonna lie, I weren't expecting that many 9s from this. Right, Ens Reshiram. This was in really, really good condition, I think. Although I'm noticing there's a tiny little white dot on the corner there. That's just on the case. So this one has got another 9. Maybe they don't like Journey Together. I don't know. It's there's a lot of 9s in there so far, but we'll see if hope it doesn't continue too much. Right, Lily's Clefairy, the full art's obviously not the special illustration rare. So this one has got another 9. It's okay. It's okay. We've got a few 9s there. We've got 110 so far. Hopefully we can get a few more 10s in this return. This is probably one of my favourite illustration rares from Journey Together. So we've got the Wailord. I've got a few copies of these. As I say, bizarrely, after I sent these off, I started collecting the set just as raw cards. So to be fair, some of these that are 9s, I might actually just crack and put them in the binder for the raw collection. But the Wailord, again, this one looks pretty good. I mean, now looking at it, the centering on the back is not great. So I wonder whether that's going to impact it. Potentially. PSA 9, so again, not another 10, well, another one that's not a 10 from this return so far. So let's see what we've got next. Right, so we're moving into some of the special illustration rares that I've got. So this might be in a bit of a random order moving forward, but we've got the Penny Special Illustration Rare. I think it's from Paldean Fates. I believe it is from Paldean Fates. And this has got, thank you, a 10. Okay, so we're back on the 10 train. So Penny's a bit of an interesting card because obviously you've got the Umbreon at the bottom, you've got the EV, I think it's like a EV backpack maybe, or is it? I don't know if it's supposed to be an actual EV. And this has kind of been trending a little bit upwards in terms of popularity. So interesting to see what that comes out as value-wise. Right, next one is Cynthia's Ambition. This is from Crown Zenith. Again, just another really good looking card. Good texture on the card. I really enjoy Crown Zenith. And obviously this is a great card from Crown Zenith. This one has got a 10. Fantastic. Right, so the 10s, we've now got 3 10s. Okay, so, Horsey, right, I really like this card. So I pulled this from Shrouded Fable, just from a booster pack. I think it's one of the better illustration rares from Shrouded Fable. Obviously got the Persian in there as well. When I sent this, I seem to remember it looking extremely good condition. So let's see what we've got. Another 9, okay. I wonder whether it's the illustration rare thing, because it feels like, well, we haven't got any illustration rares as 10 yet. And there's been a lot of illustration rares that have been sent off. I know that they can be a lot harder to grade, but yeah, that is a lot of 9s on illustration rares so far. Okay, we've got the Pidgey. So I actually bought this card raw from a shop. Again, it looked in pretty good condition. So just worth a punt to send off to grading. And we've got another PSA 9. Okay, well, my PSA 9 collection is going to be increasing heavily based off of this. So another PSA 9. Okay, right, next we've got the Raichu. This has got to be one of my favourite cards from the Scarlet and Violet era. Obviously from Paldea Evolved, an extremely good illustration rare. Looking at the front, that centering looks off right to left. It's funny how you don't look at that much when you're initially seeing it. But the back looks good. Oh, PSA 9. I would love to have got that as a 10, man. Like, this is, obviously it's a fantastic card. I think in a 10, it's obviously got quite a bit of a premium to it, but it wouldn't have been one that I'd sell. It's just such a cool looking card. But unfortunately, that will go in the 9 pile, which is getting bigger and bigger. Right, Quaxley, I'm just gonna put these over here, these 9s. Right, Quaxley is the next one. So again, illustration rare. Can we get our first 10 on an illustration rare in this return? We can. Blimey. Right, PSA 10 for the Quaxley. That's a good result. Again, another illustration rare from Paldea Revolved. So we'll put that in the 10 pile. Morty's Conviction. I really like this card. Really underrated special illustration rare. Got the huge Gengar in there as well. And this one has got a PSA 10. Okay, maybe we're on a bit of a path to some 10s towards the end of this return. Okay, so the 10 pile was adding up a little bit. Slack Off, God, another illustration rare. So yeah, again, so this from Surging Sparks. I seem to remember that this one looked pretty minty again at the back. Centering looks a bit better on this one, at least on the back. And we've got a 10. Brilliant. Okay, right, so maybe they've just saved the 10s to the end of the return. So happy with that. We've got another 10 to add to the pile. Leave those there like that. Right, next one, so we're going to some Japanese cards now. So we've got the Eevee Master Ball Reverse Holo from Terrestrial Festival. Again, I sent off a couple of Master Balls in this, which will come through in a minute. This one has got PSA 10. You kind of expect it a little bit with Japanese cards, but it is not always the case. But that is a super looking card in a PSA 10, so really happy with that one. Next one, Ace Resale's Premonition. This I actually pulled from a VMAX Climax booster box that I got. One of the top hits from the set, and yeah, just a really interesting card. I think it was really popular a few years ago, but has kind of gone down a little bit in terms of popularity. But this one has got PSA 10. Again, very, very happy with that. Great to see another 10 in the return. Right, this one's a pretty big one. So we've got the Umbreon Master Ball. I actually pulled this from a free pack that I won on Whatnot. And yeah, managed to get basically one of the top hits from the entire set in terms of the Umbreon Master Ball. So it'd be fantastic to get this one back in a 10. And we do get it back in a 10, brilliant. So look, the Japanese card saving the day a little bit. So a few more 10s to add to the pile. Next one, we've got another illustration rare. So we've got the Gimmighoul. Now this one, again, I sent off just because I thought it looked like it had a shot at getting a 10. Very, very minty card. You can see on the back, the centering looks good as well. And we've got another 10. This is a weird return. You've got like a lot of 9s at the start. Very few 10s, and now we're sort of pumping the 10s, which is great. Now this has become a huge card, which is quite incredible. I'm sure, I think I looked at comps and they were around £200, something like that. I'll have obviously put a price on, this is PSA 10 comps. I'll put a price on depending on what grade we get here, but it'd be brilliant to get this in a 10. It's such a brilliant looking card as well. So this one comes back as a PSA 10. Fantastic. Okay, right, so look. The 10 pile is starting to improve a bit, so this is good. This is making me happy. This is another sick card. Pikachu, Baby Shiny in Japanese. Pulled it from Shiny Treasures, which is obviously the Paldea Fates, the Japanese version of Paldea Fates. And this one comes back as a PSA 10. So when we're looking at the 10 and 9 pile now, we do have slightly more 10s, maybe 2 more 10s than 9s. So it's a difficult one, this, because some of my favourite cards from this return, like the Raichu, the Wailords, probably I own as Belly Bolt as well, the special illustration rare, have come back as 9s, which is a bit disappointing. But we do have a lot of 10s in this return, so you can't complain about the 10s. But interesting to see about some of these 9s. Some of these 9s, I wonder whether I'll cross grade. I wonder whether I'll break them out and see if I can grade them at other companies and see what they come back as. If you feel that that's something that I should look at and do, then put a comment below and I'll see if I can get that done. Right, so we should be able to rely on a Japanese special illustration rare, Erica's Invitation. Again, one of the bigger hits from the Japanese 151 set when it initially came out. Probably expecting PSA 10 because of the Japanese quality. And this one has got a PSA 8. And there you go, you get the final curveball from a grade. I have no idea why that would have got a PSA 8. That definitely could be one to look at breaking out and cross grading, because that looks perfect. I know that there might be centering with this, but I find it so hard to judge centering on these types of cards where you've got this like speech bubble bit at the top. and obviously it's going to then have a slightly thinner border at the top compared to the bottom, but left to right, actually looking at it now, maybe a little bit off as well, and that might have affected it. But an 8 as opposed to a 9 even, that's a wild grade. But okay, so in summary, we've got slightly more 10s than we've got 9s. Probably highlights wise, I'm going to say the Mega Rayquaza. I think that looks fantastic and it looks really good in the 10. These are also, I forgot to mention at the start, the new PSA slabs, the new design of the slabs. They do feel really different. I'd say they feel a bit like thicker, like chunkier. I'm sure they're probably not, but they feel a bit more sturdy. I know there's been issues with, well, perceived issues with some of these slabs and being able to open them. I'm not going to try and open any of them at the moment, but they do feel a bit more premium. Not much, but a little bit more premium compared to how they used to. Other highlights, oh, it's definitely got to be the Master Ball Umbreon. That's a fantastic card. Really, really happy to get that in a PSA 10. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. What's your favourite card from this return? What do you think of PSA in general and their grading standards, the ability to get PSA 10s now? I feel like this is a really interesting return because some of these cards that I thought would have got PSA 10s, like this, have got much lower grades than expected, but then other cards have got higher grades than I potentially expected. So it's kind of a bit of a balancing act, really. It is quite hard to tell. I mean, I'm not a professional grader. Obviously, professional graders are paid to do that job, so they're going to have much more expertise than I am. So you're kind of just guessing, really, when you're sending these cards off to whether you think they are going to get a 10 or not. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think, and we'll see you in the next video.